another tower. That's the castle of Verrazzano.
Oh yeah.
Actually, do you live in the US?
Yes, I do.
Which part of the US?
Texas.
If you go to New York, one of the bridges is called Verrazzano Bridge.
Okay.
Because the Bay of New York, when New York didn't exist yet, it was first European that went there. It was Giovanni da Verrazzano, which came from that castle. So that's why there's a Verrazzano Bridge in New York. He's the most famous man of the region. There's actually lots of connections between here and America. The continent America takes the name from Amerigo Vespucci.
Amerigo Vespucci.
He was born in Florence, actually, the center of Florence. It's a very wealthy Florentine family. And he lived for a long time in Spain. He traveled about 4 times to the new continent. He drew lots of maps from north to south of the east coast. Never made it to the Pacific. But he was the first one to say that that was a new continent and not Asia, because everybody here in Europe thought that that was Asia. You know, they kept on looking for the Ganga River in India, but they couldn't find it because it wasn't there. Columbus died thinking that that was Asia. So he was the very first one to say that was a new continent. They used his name translated into the female version. So from Amerigo you get America. Verrazzano, Vespucci.
Huh. I see some of the vineyards already.
Yeah, wine is a big industry. If you think that France and Italy together produce over 50% of the world wine that you find on our tables. Italy, between the two, it's the one that produces more in quantity, percentage. The French say they are the best. They're probably more advanced than the Italians, but the Italians are kind of catching up. But then when it comes to what you like, it's really individual, you know. I'm more used to the Chianti, which is more like a full-bodied wine, and I like it better than the French wine, but it's all individual. This region in Italy is one that produces the most. So if you take this region alone, compare it to various other regions around the world, this is one of the regions that produces more wine. There's still lots of regions today. Now we're getting closer to Greve, which is the main city in the Chianti region. See, once upon a time, these crops were also used for, to produce, to have wheat or fruit and vegetables. But then, let's say in the last century, it was more dedicated to wine, especially, I would say, in the last 50 years. So you would hardly find any other production besides wine and olive oil. You have to go to western Tuscany, where there's big plain, or eastern Tuscany. And then the hills are mostly used for wine. Also because the composition of the ground is very rich in minerals, yeah, which is very important for the final taste of the wine. Do you produce wine in Texas?
Yes, they do.
I know they do it in California. I heard about Jersey as well, and various other parts. Like most probably the red wine of Texas is a Sangiovese grape. Because that's the most spread around the world. You find Sangiovese in every region of the planet.
I think they have Merlot and they have Cabernet Sauvignon.
So we're coming back to Greve later on.
Okay.
Going to the central square where there's beautiful butchery and other shops. Now we go up on the hills to reach the Antinori property. So you can get very steep here, eh?
Yeah.
Very, very, very hilly. Sometimes, to travel like 30 miles only can take you up to 2 hours in this region. Because it's very, very windy. I had once an experience actually with a group of Americans.
What?
They'd done everything on their own. They booked the restaurant, the hotel, and so I picked them up and they were going to it was a beautiful place, yeah, and fantastic restaurants, but it took 2 hours to get there and it was just a short distance and very windy, so they didn't really enjoy themselves, especially on the way back because they had so much food on their stomach. You see here on the left, the olive groves are mixed with the vineyards. This is a very, very old way of making the best of every crop. So you would mix both. Nowadays they would never do it because the olive trees are too tall and they shade the vine plants, so they don't take enough nutrients from the sun. So now they always keep them separate. So whenever you see, and you've seen cherries went past, and now they're almost ready.
The cherries?
Yeah. And these long trees that we're driving past are the cypress trees. It's the typical tree of Tuscany. We find more cypresses here than anywhere else in Italy. It's actually the tree of the region. Every region has its own tree to identify, and it's also the tree of the dead. That's why you find them in the cemeteries a lot, because they're very long, but they're also very long underground. They go straight, so they don't bother, the roots don't bother the graves. Montefiorale. So after lunch, I think this will be our first stop. It won't take long.
Okay.
It's a very lovely little medieval village on this hilltop.
Yeah.
It would be nice for you if you want to have, if you want to feel a little of Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Maybe just to walk through.
That would be cool.
This is one of the characteristics of Italy, and especially this region, very medieval. Lots of villages, lots of buildings, even in Florence, from the Middle Ages, especially the late Middle Ages, so from 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th century.